Hey guys, join my Discord, subscribe to RATREET and Miniman123. They're my friends. Thank you. Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. This is What If Naruto Left the Village Part 2. Last time I didn't mention the light goal. I don't think so, but while I was trying to type 35, I'm like, nah, maybe that's too many. So I typed 20, and then when I go check right a second afterwards, it was on 35. I'm like, God damn it. So on this one I'll make it 50 because you guys got to 51 in an hour, which is kinda mad, and I will be increasing it by 10 or 15 every time depending on the popularity of the video. So imagine this What If gets 300 views like the other one in an hour or something like that, or by the end of today I get to like maybe 300 to 500 views. I will be making in the light goal a bit higher, like 15, but if it gets like 100 to 300, or well, from 0 to 300, the light goal will be 10. If it's 0, well, you're not getting a new part because no one even watched this one. So last time we left off with Naruto, Zabuza and Haku entering the Sand Village as undercover as some tourists. And before we get back into the story, I want to first, someone asked for Naruto's moveset, so I will be giving that. Naruto has wind release, lightning release and water release. So Haku taught him how to use his wind release because he's an expert at it, but he's not as good as Zabuza when it's about water release, because he has ice release and you need to know how to use water and wind release properly. And Naruto will learn ice release, just saying, because ice release is something I really love. And his wind release, his water release was taught by Zabuza, and none of them knew how to use lightning release. So Zabuza teaches Naruto the fundamentals of the water clone. Naruto learns the water clone, and from now on it's a bit more chakra draining than the shadow clone, and Zabuza knows the shadow clone too, so he teaches Naruto the shadow clone, and Naruto now knows the shadow clone and the water clone. And Haku also teaches Naruto how to add wind release to his blades, like kunais. And last, what if I didn't mention this, Naruto does have a small sword, a bit like Shisui's, but not on his back, more like on the back of his hip. So no, like around his waist but at the back, and he gets it out like a samurai, just that it looks a bit cooler. And I'd say Naruto fights more, not aggressively, because of his experience of being outverted, like trying to make friends out of nowhere, like saying hello really loud and everything. So Naruto's more of a shy type now, so he doesn't really going all out straight away. So he does more he plays more passive, fights more passively, and he can add water release to it to make it really extremely sharp. And sometimes once around, when he was right before they met Kurama, basically Naruto tried to add both water and wind release, and an ice sword came out of it. And Haku was impressed by Naruto learning how to do ice release at such young age, even though he did a bit younger. But his clan had a Kekigenkai about it, but Naruto just straight up manifested it himself. Zabuza was really happy for Naruto and really proud of him, because Zabuza is like a father to Naruto, and Naruto is really happy and he's ecstatic, is jumping around, and he's like, yay. He can act normally around them, but when it's around anyone else, even his friends, well, he doesn't have many friends. Well, he doesn't have any friends, to be honest, right now. And also he knows the let's say Shuriken Jutsu, not as good as the Uchiha style one, but he does learn it, and he knows how to add wind release to his shuriken to make them rotate faster and do more damage, and also water release to make them sharper sharper and make them cut hard deeper to, so maybe one shuriken jutsu can put out maybe a tuning to maybe high tuning or low jonin rank ninja. And also he knows how to do how to basically he learned a new substitution jutsu, so it's like Itachi's one, but just that his one is not they're not crows. The one second, he turns into white doves. Doves are usually white, I mean, and I want them to be blue, just to show that how Naruto's heart felt after all the stares, all the bullying. Basically, blue usually doesn't stand for a really happy color, unless it's light blue. I mean dark blue. And the doves represent love in Greek mythology. I did search that. Don't ask me why. I wanted something significant and meaningful for this what if. This what if is going to be more meaningful to the fans of Naruto, and I want to show them a different perspective of how Naruto would have felt if he was outcasted and everything, and instead of him trying to fight on, he gave up. But that's not the Naruto we all know, but it's a possibility, because if because Kishimoto could have really changed Naruto at any time, and if at the beginning Naruto just gave up, and the whole story would have been a lot different. And we know that because in the like fillers, small changes like, let's say Naruto, in the fillers, like if imagine Sasuke didn't leave and Naruto had a father and mother, you see how big of a change it is on Naruto. It's not like Naruto would be knuckleheaded or anything because of his father, but then again Naruto would be kind of outgoing like his mother Kushina, and Minato, they're two contrasting personality. Minato's more shy but kind, and I'm not saying Kushina is not kind and he's smart, while Kushina is more like outgoing, not as she is caring, but she is more aggressive than Minato, unless it's in a fight, like actual life or death fight. And she is not that bright, not as she's stupid. I mean, like Minato was a prodigy and Kushina wasn't, something like that. And blue doves, blue to represent his sadness, and doves as love, the thing that he's always he's always asked for and he always wanted but he never got. So Naruto can turn into blue doves, and they confuse the opponent. And also some of them, sometimes they have paper bombs. Yes, I know it's kind of extreme and to have a paper bomb on a bird, but these birds are like illusions and they are genjutsu. Yes, Naruto did learn some genjutsu because Zabuza stole some scrolls, and he did steal some scrolls of like different lightning release jutsus, and he did teach Naruto the water shockwave. That was a pretty easy move for Naruto to master, especially with a specialist of water release like Zabuza and Haku, who knows a lot of different types of water release jutsus as well. And Naruto does learn something different. I did give him this in my other what ifs. He does know how to use a slice to basically, he creates a slice of wind that turns into water, and it's basically using wind or water transformation. So wind transforms into water, and the water is like a slice going from long ranges. But it's not a really fatal move like in the other what ifs. It's more like a distraction move, and it can hurt if the chakra put into it is the amount of chakra put into it is immense. Like let's say your Rasengan, you need a lot of chakra for a Rasengan or a Chidori. That amount of chakra could like slice through trees, boulders. You can cut people in half. But what Naruto does, Naruto isn't intrigued to killing like Zabuza used to be. Zabuza is kind of still psychotic, like he doesn't mind killing, but after adopting quote unquote uh adopting Naruto, even though not legally, he has had a change in heart, and Haku never really had a change in heart because Haku's heart was always pure and with pure intentions. And so, for the people who are asking what are Naruto's moveset, I'm pretty sure you guys have got a good idea. And so now we skip back to Naruto waving at Gaara where I left off. Gaara just doesn't say anything, he just looks away, even though he's happy inside for someone that he doesn't even know, a tourist, just to wave at him, even though he was giving him a death stare. Because Naruto knew that Gaara was the One Tails Jinchuriki, and he knew that he had a sad life just like him, and he wanted to go up to him, but he had a mission to tell the Kazekage about Gaara's potential, and also that Gaara can master Shikaku, and that Naruto can help. And they do go to the Kazekage, they ask for a meeting, and they decline, and then out of nowhere the Kazekage does walk out, and because he wants to go to, let's say, the restroom, and the Kazekage sees them three, and I said "and" too many times, sorry guys, and again, so the Kazekage sees them, and okay, whatever. So the Kazekage sees them, and he can really see underneath Zabuza's transformation, and Zabuza isn't letting out any blood lust, and he's with two kids, and he realizes that Zabuza isn't here for a fight, but he's actually here for an actual reason. He knows that Zabuza is wanted, but he wants to hear him out, and he says, okay, first let me go to the restroom though. So he comes back, and he asks why are they, and he asks his guards to go outside and guard the outside, because he doesn't want them to hear this. And Zabuza does transform back to himself, because Haku and Naruto weren't really wanted. Well, Naruto still had to transform just in case, and Naruto retransforms, and the Kazekage does realize who Naruto is, because the Leaf did send a letter about a kid going missing. They didn't tell them about the actual Jinchuriki going missing. It's just a kid going missing, and they wanted to find him, and they weren't really surprised that the third Hokage would do that, because the Leaf is kind of soft. What other villagers think, or other nations think, that the Leaf is soft. They always wanted peace, but the other nations never accepted the peace treaty, so they just shrugged it off. And he realizes, so you must be the kid who ran away from the Leaf village, right? And Naruto has cold sweat running down from his face, and he thinks that the Kazekage will report him, and then Zabuza says, please hear us out. And they tell him about Naruto's childhood, and that as Naruto knows that Gaara has gone through the same thing, and he says that Shikaku can be controlled, and he can be made into a foe, not an ally, not an enemy. And at first, the Kazekage doesn't believe this, and then he says, then you prove it. And Naruto's like, well, he says, then you guys prove me wrong. And Naruto's like, I can prove you wrong right now. And the Kazekage is like, you kid, you're probably the same age as my son, and you think you can prove me wrong? Giving him a little death stare, but Naruto just says, you wanna see? And the Kazekage is like, go on then. Rasa says to Naruto, prove me wrong then, kid. And Naruto says, I am the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, if you didn't notice. And Rasa realizes that that's why the Leaf Village was so concerned about him. And he says, so that's why the Leaf Village was so concerned about you. Well, if you don't prove me wrong, I will kill you, and I will take the nine-tailed fox for myself, and I will attack the Leaf Village. And Naruto says, you won't kill me, because I will prove you wrong, and I don't care even if I die and the Nine Tails is captured. Well, I won't let myself die and let Kurama get captured, but I won't let you attack my village. I don't really care. Sorry, guys. I don't really care if you attack my village. And Rasa is really confused at this, and then Naruto says, "There's a reason why I ran away. It's because they all treated me bad. They always attacked me. They always glared at me for just walking, just breathing. They thought that I was a disease. Only for breathing, they just threw rocks at me. The kids used to bully me just for sitting on a bench, not even talking, not doing anything. They just used to come up to me, kick me, beat me, bully me. Even the Leaf elders never looked at me like a villager, and the villagers themselves tried to kill me once, and I have tried suicide multiple times, but I could never do it." And he can see Gaara in Naruto, and he realizes that if Gaara could become like this too, and he kinda has a change in heart by Naruto's speech. Naruto just does the Toku no Jutsu out of nowhere without even knowing he did it, and says, "I can change you and your son, because I know your son is Gaara." And this isn't a news to the Kazakage, but he is confused on how Naruto would know. And then Zabuza's like, "I gathered information," and Rasa's like, "Go on, prove me wrong. You have 1 minute." And Naruto thinks in his mind, "Hey, Kurama, can you give me some chakra?" And Kurama's like, "Yeah, sure, here." It's not like Kurama is outside his cage, but him and Naruto can still communicate and give chakra to each other. And Naruto goes KCM and says, "This is what my friend Kurama, the Nine Tails, can. This is the chakra of the Nine Tails, and this is just a little fraction of it." And then he kind of gets confused by what he's saying, and then Zabuza explains with Haku. They say, "Well, that's only a fraction of the nine-tailed of Kurama's chakra." And Rasa then asks, "Who's Kurama?" And Naruto's like, "I'm sure you know what the one-tailed beast's name is, right? Shukaku. So if he has a name, all of them have one. I know, and the Nine-Tails has a name, and his name is Kurama. So don't forget that." And Kurama has a smile, and Naruto looks. In his mind, Naruto looks back and gives him a thumbs up, and Rasa understands that Naruto is not lying, and that he had this sad childhood, and he doesn't want his son to turn out like that. And he proposes something to them. He says, "If I let you guys join forces with me, I won't tell anyone that you've been here, and the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki was here as well." And Naruto's really happy about this. Says, "So can I become a ninja as well?" And Rasa's like, "Yes, Naruto, you can, but as long as you guys don't rebel against us, you can become a sand shinobi." And Naruto was like, "But I don't want to become a sand shinobi, because I'd rather be a shinobi for myself. From what I've experienced, I don't want to experience it again." And then Gaara walks in and says, "At least you have someone. You should be grateful. Even my father, who tried to kill me, gave you a chance. Well, he couldn't even give me a chance." And Naruto glares at Rasa, showing that he's angry at him because he tried to kill his own son, and Naruto knows what he went through. And then Rasa tells everything to Gaara, that his mother always loved him, the power of Shukaku, well, the power that you think is Shukaku's defense, and your ultimate defense is not from Shukaku, and it's from your mother. And Gaara starts crying, and he says, "So Uncle always loved me too." And then Rasa's like, "I'm sorry, Gaara. It's all because of me." And Gaara is not too angry at Rasa, because in the end he did find out the truth, and Naruto was there, and Naruto did wave at him and says, "So will you be my new friend?" And Naruto's like, "Yeah, sure, of course I can be your friend, but us two will have to I have to help you master Shukaku's strength, because we need to go on a mission soon." And Rasa's like, what do you mean mission, kid? And then because Rasa was getting protective over Gaara, and then Zabuza steps in and says Naruto has a dream. His dream is to show to every single person in the world that the Biju or the tail beasts are not tools for strength or weapons for villages, but they have a soul too. Like Kurama, he became friends with Naruto after what he went through. I'm sure, from what I've heard from Kurama, that Shukaku was the most stubborn one out of all of them. And then Shukaku just shouts out from Gaara and says, "Do you really think I'm the most stubborn one? Nine-tailed fox." And then Kurama's like, "Please, not now, Shukaku." And Shukaku realizes that Kurama didn't call him a Tanuki this time, and understands that Kurama is being serious and says, "I'll listen, but if I don't like the terms of this cooperation, I will take over Gaara and I will kill you all, since Naruto here can't still can't use the fox's power, can he?" And then Kurama says, "The power that he has now is more than enough to beat you, even though he's a kid. So don't underestimate Naruto. He has more skills than what you think he does. And I'm pretty sure he can go up against most Chunin already." And everyone's confused at this because Naruto's only 8 years old, and Kurama just said he can go up against most Chunins, and then Zabuza's like, yes, same with Haku, even though he's a bit older. And then so the Naruto and Zabuza and Haku do get a house in the sand village, and the villagers don't know about Naruto, but they see Gaara as he can see that the villagers hate Gaara just how they hate his villagers. Well, the people in his village hated him, and he said, "Hey Gaara, how about you show them your true strength?" And they did have a plan to go to every single nation once Gaara and Naruto are 12. Then Naruto can leave the sand village, and Gaara will become the Kazekage as well. Then he will have an alliance with with Naruto, and Naruto will go around trying to trying to show that to everyone that the tail beasts aren't tools and they have a soul. And the sand village is the first village to on their list. So a few years pass, 4 years in fact. Naruto is now 12, and here is where we start the story. Naruto in these past few years, he has been training with Zabuza and Haku. Haku became a Chunin for the sand, Zabuza is a Jonin for the sand, and Naruto is a Genin for the sand now. Same with Gaara. Gaara's brother and sister, Kankuro and Temari, do like him now, and they don't mind him as much as they used to, because before he wasn't normal and now he's back to normal, and they pretty much love him. And now Gaara isn't as hated in the village because in the past few years he has shown that he can be an asset, and Shukaku was let out of his cage and he doesn't cooperate with Gaara. So 2 years ago, an attack on the sand happened, and a few civilians or villagers got attacked by, let's say, cloud ninjas or something. Not cloud, stone ninjas, and they were attacking people with kunais with paper bombs on it. And then out of nowhere, Gaara appeared with his sand defense and protected all of them, and they all admired Gaara, and every single villager saw that, because they were outside and they were about to run until Gaara came in and saved them. And then Naruto came in and said ice release, ice binding jutsu, and then he made a path full of ice and a few different spikes, like things like, branches of trees, something like that, came out from the ice path, and they started binding the ninjas. And Naruto and Gaara are considered as heroes for protecting the Sand Village. And sorry guys, and the Leaf Village was never informed about the Nine Tails Jinchuriki being in the Sand Village. They never had a peace treaty, and the training exams do start. And the teams here are completely different. There's random teams, and Temari and Kankuro are put in one team of Genin with a random some other Genin, and also Gaara, Naruto, and and a different girl Genin who admires Gaara, and she's in love with him. She's not a fangirl like Sakura. She's actually useful. She's good at healing, and she's good at combat as well. But most importantly, she has an affinity for Genjutsu. It's basically a Sakura 2.0, just a more useful one, and she can fight for herself. So Gaara Kando likes her, and Naruto is like a brother to Gaara, and Zabuza and Haku realize that Naruto has still got resentment in his heart, and the only people he feels love and he feels happy around is Gaara, Temari, Kankuro, that girl that likes Gaara, and the villagers in the sand. But when it comes to any stranger he doesn't know from a different village, he doesn't care. He's like the normal Naruto would actually care, but from the experience, from the hate, from all the beatings, from all the suicidal thoughts that he got as a kid, he really is apathetic to anyone else except for his new village. And this would really disappoint Minato and Kushina. Not that Naruto doesn't like the Leaf Villagers. If they were alive right now, they would understand why Naruto doesn't like the Leaf and why he resents them, and he's apathetic towards anyone else except for his new village, because they have accepted him. And Naruto's like, as soon as me and Gaara become Chunin, we can start our mission, right? Dad, he calls Zabuza dad and Haku elder brother. And then Rasa, well, let's say Rasa's family and Gaara's family, I'm such an idiot. Let's say Gaara's family and Naruto's family, family in quote unquote, because they're not really blood related. Like even Haku's not blood related to Zabuza, but they consider each other's family, and they say yes, and they got really close. And Rasa is like best friends with Zabuza. They always hang out, they'll go out together. And in this one, if Orochimaru does try to infiltrate, but he isn't able to. In fact, the Sand reports that the Orochimaru tried to attack Rasa, but in the past few years Rasa has been training to protect Gaara, because he has motivation to become stronger. And Shikaku has taught Rasa a few techniques that he and Gaara learned while training together. And Naruto, sorry guys, sorry for the meme. And Naruto asked Kurama how he can let him out, and Kurama said there is someone with the key. I'm not sure who, but it was someone really close to your father. I don't know, as I said before, I don't know who, but I'm pretty sure it might be Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, because he was the teacher of your father, and I heard that he was meant to be your godfather. And Naruto was like, if he was meant to be my godfather, that means he might have loved me. And Kurama's like, I'm not sure, but I've never seen him resent anyone from the Leaf Village, and he never resented me either when I was in your mother. And Naruto does know about his heritage, and he is really sad about it. And one day when he tried to open the seal, he did meet Minato, and Minato did see that Naruto and Kurama are friends, and Naruto's changed, and Naruto told him everything. And Minato is like, son, I'm not going to decide how you live your life. If you think this is the best for you, I believe it's the best for you as well. I'm not going to force you to go back to the village. It's your choice, and I can see why you left, and I'm sure you met new people who are better than the villagers, and they treat you much better. And Minato did tell him the Jiraiya has the key, and well, this was after their conversation. Naruto did try to open the seal, and then Minato appeared, and he said, well, I believe you should meet your mother as well. And Minato does use a jutsu. Don't ask me what jutsu, please. I don't know. He just summons Kushina's chakra, and Kushina hugs Naruto, and she understands. She understands why Naruto did this and why he left the village, and she doesn't care about the village, especially because they treated her son, basically the hero of the village, like this. And she's like, "You did the right choice, son. I'm sure that what you believe is right. It's right for you." And Minato does say, if you tell Jiraiya Sensei, I'm pretty sure he will try to help you. And but let's go back to the attack on the fourth Kazekage. Orochimaru isn't able to kill him, but he does get a few blows in, but at the same time he gets injured and he has to retreat. And so now we begin a few missions. Gaara and Naruto are assigned C ranked missions to B ranked, and they do a lot. So they do 40 D ranks, 34 C ranks, and 14 B ranks, and 2 A ranks, and 1 S rank. They did get chosen for an S rank because of their mastery over tail beasts. And people don't know about Naruto, but Naruto has never used his tail beast mode, KCM1, because his skills are amazing. Right now, Naruto has developed all 5 chakra natures, and Gaara has taught him a bit how to use Earth Release, so he knows the Mud Wall from a scroll that he got, and he knows the Earth Style Mud Wall, Earth Wall, Earth Dome, Earth Shockwave, and he knows how to do the Earth Binding Jutsu. And also he did learn how to use Fire Release, so he did learn the Phoenix Flower Jutsu. I know it's a technique really hard to learn, especially for someone who just learned how to use Fire Release, but okay, he did learn it. The Fireball Jutsu, the Great Fireball, he knows how to add fire to any weapon he has. Fire Release, and that's where I'm going to end it off. And the tuning exams are announced, and the Sand is invited, and that's where I'm going to end it off. I hope you all enjoyed. The backstory of Naruto has been finished, and it did take me two parts, 150 minutes and 132 minutes. I hope you all enjoyed. I know this wasn't as long as the other one, but in this what if, I want you guys to for the next part, I want you guys to get to 50 likes. And also another thing is that Naruto, once he heard about the Leaf Village announcing the tuning exams, his demeanor changed towards the final few days in the Sand Village before going. He's like, from now on, I'm going to act cold. Please don't ask me why. I just don't like the Leaf Village. And Gaara knows why, but they know why, but they don't want to ask him why he wants to change his demeanor. And because Naruto doesn't feel anything towards the Leaf Village, he hates them all except like a few people, and he will go and visit them. He doesn't know about Iruka Sensei. Iruka Sensei didn't know about him, so it won't be him. And that's where I'm going to end it off. I hope this part was enjoyable, and I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys will like it. So please take care, stay safe, and peace. Oops, my bad. Peace.